Hello Math 1. So this video is on standard 2.a, which is determining if the value of a variable is a solution to the equation. Now the first thing we have to talk about here is what is an expression? And what is the difference between an expression and an equation? Now an expression is basically a bunch of terms linked by addition or subtraction. And if you remember a term has two things. It has a coefficient and a variable expression. Right? So when I look, 3 would be my coefficient and x would be my variable expression. And if I take a bunch of these, such as like 3x plus 6, right? This makes an expression. So know and understand that an expression does not have an equal sign. Now what we do is we actually evaluate expressions. So if I was going to evaluate the following expression, 4x minus 8, when x is equal to negative 3, all I'm going to do is everywhere I see an x, I'm going to replace it with a negative 3. So I would do 4 times negative 3 minus 8. That would give me negative 12 minus 8, and this would give me negative 20. Okay, now the next one, some people will actually choose to either plug 4 in now or simplify. If we plug it in 4 now, I'm going to do negative 2 times 3 times 4 minus 1 plus 6 times 4 minus 7. So basically everywhere I see an x, I'm going to kick it out and replace it with a 4. When I read 3x, it's 3 times x. So negative 2 times 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. Plus 6 times 4 is 24. Minus 7. It's going to give me negative 22 plus 24 minus 7. That ends up being 2 minus 7, which is negative 5. Now, another way I like to evaluate these is using the calculator and a feature of the calculator that I like. What I'm going to do for this is I'm going to actually store in that value of 4. So I'm going to type in 4, then I'm going to hit this little stow button with the arrow. And when I hit that, I'm going to go up and hit the X button, and then I'm going to hit enter. So now every time I type in X, it'll replace it with 4. So now all I'm going to do is type this expression in the way I see it. Negative 2, open parentheses, 3x minus 1, close parentheses, plus 6x minus 7. When I hit enter, right away it gives me negative 5. So what the calculator did is it took the value I stored in, right, and evaluated this when x is equal to 4. Just a little shortcut there. Now, when I look at this, right, what is an equation? An equation now is when you take two expressions and set them equal to each other. Right? So if I now have something like 4x plus 3 equals 2x minus 5, that's an equation. I have two expressions set equal to each other. And the solution to an equation is basically the value of the variable that makes the equation true. So when I plug that value in, it should make a true statement. If it doesn't, it's not a solution. So let's take a look here. First example, they want us to determine if y equals 8 is a solution to this equation. So what I'm going to do is everywhere I see a y, I'm going to kick it out and replace it with 8. So 10 minus 5 times 8 equals negative 30. So 10 minus 40 equals negative 30. 10 minus 40 is negative 30. Does negative 30 equal negative 30? Yes. Therefore, y equals 8 is a solution. Now, is negative 4 a solution to the next equation? Well, let me go ahead and plug that in. 6 times negative 4 plus 6 equals 3 times negative 4 minus 21. Evaluate both sides. So that's giving me negative 24 plus 6. That's negative 18. This is going to give me negative 12 minus 21, which is negative 33. Does negative 18 equal negative 33? No. Therefore, x equals negative 4 is not a solution. Okay? And now when I look at the next one, right? Is x equals 7 a solution to this? Now, there's two ways. We can do this by hand, right? So I can go negative 3 times 7 minus 1 plus 8 times 7 minus 3 equals 6 times 7 plus 7 minus 5 times 7. So this gives me negative 3 times 6 plus 8 times 4. That's negative 18 plus 32, which is going to give me 14. This side, that's 42 plus 7 minus 35. 42 plus 7 is going to give me 49 minus 35 would equal 14. Does 14 equal 14? Yes, that checks out. So x equals 7 is a solution. So remember, anytime we're trying to check to determine if a value is a solution to the equation, all we do is plug it in and check for a true statement. Go ahead, try the student practice, and let us know if you have questions.